This conference will now be recorded.
So before we start, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions for me from yesterday's class? Okay, great. So let's do one thing. Just open up the Google Colab, everybody. Just go to Google Colab. First link that you have, open it up. It will take you on this website. Okay, and before that, I will do one more thing. Open the Google Colab and create a new notebook there. Did you open the? I hope you have opened it up. Let me do that. Go back to ML. Select all of them. So I'll be sharing you this folder. Please download this folder, all the images that we have. So we'll be training a model on these images. We'll try to see how can we process an images, how to feed the images into the model, each and every information. So I'm sharing this. Please download it. Oh no. Just hang on. Not this one. This one I'll be sharing. Okay, open the last thing that I've shared. And download all the images in your local drive. All of them that we have in this folder. Once you download it, let me know. Second one, Ajay. Click on the second one. No, which folder you are accessing? You are accessing the second folder? Second one, okay. Just give me 1 second. Let me check the settings for you. Okay. Now, are you guys able to do that? Are you able to download these images? But I have enabled the access. Let me try to open them up. Let me see. It works, right? Yeah, try it again. It'll work now. When I'm going with this link on a incognito mode, it will be working. Now, everybody have downloaded it. That is what I'm hoping for. You have downloaded all these images in your notebook. It is not asking you to sign in. Great. Now come to your collab notebook. Collab notebook. Yeah, I'll open a notebook here. Let me select one. Okay, let me see. What does it has? Okay. Connect that notebook that you have connected. Click on connect. Okay, once you do that, let me know. Click on connect. It will ask you this, are you a robot? Please do that. It will initialize. And click on this one, this folder icon that you can see. Click on that icon. Click on upload. Select all of them. So it is telling you a reminder. The uploaded file will get deleted once the runtime is recycled. That means once your notebook get disconnected, then you might have to go back again and upload them again if you want to run this program. They work on a runtime basically, as we are using cloud. So if this cloud location is allocated to someone else, I won't be able to use it. There is another way to do that. We can mount a drive, but we don't really require it at point of time. Okay. Click on the upload. Select the images. Go to your folder where you have all these images. Go to that particular folder. Select all of them, then click on open. And these images I found from this website, Unsplash. I hope you've heard of this website. So I have resized all of them so that they are ready for my model, so that I can train them and they are not big in size. Yeah, if I want to use them. Okay. Yeah. So everybody have done this? Are we on the
Nandesh, I'm
same
not
page?
getting upload button.
Click on this file now. First of all, you have to click on the file. Have you clicked on the file option?
Okay, file then.
Yes. Then you will see these options now: upload, refresh, mount drive. So everybody is on the same page. Please type yes or no. If you are on the Jupyter notebook and you have uploaded all those images on the notebook. Okay, okay. Great. So we'll be doing the code along together, all of us. Once everybody is done, please type yes. Okay. So what you have to do, this is the window you might be seeing, Sunidhi. Are you able to see this window? What exactly you are able to see on the screen? This is what you are seeing. Click on the file. Yes, of course it is Colab. You just joined in. Great. Click on the file. Then click on upload. And then just upload the files. And then also connect your notebook on the top. Once you do, please let me know. Okay. No need. Click on new notebook. You need to open a new notebook. Open a new notebook. Don't need to upload any notebook. This is the page you might be looking at. I mean, if I go to open notebook, you might have this page. I hope, Sunidhi. Are you on this page? Yes. Okay. Then what you should do? Are you able to see any notebook here? Any notebook is there or not? Do you have any notebooks on this page? If you have any notebook on this page, open that notebook. like this. If I click on this one, no notebook is there. Okay. Then do one thing. Let me show it to you again. I don't have collab here. Okay. Let me see.
Nandev, here only we can see the new notebook symbol is the bottom of this pop-up window. Here only.
On this, we can see
near the cancel button.
Okay, but she's not able to see that option, I guess. She's on this window, no? This is a different window.
Example.
Yes.
New
Okay,
notebook.
no. You must be on this page, Sunidhi. When you go to, just hang on, let me do that. Google Colab. You must be on this page. Then what do you need to do? Search for Google Colab. Come to this page first of all. Once you are on this particular page, then click on File and New Notebook. Please do that, Sunidhi. You have opened the Colab. You should have told me that. New notebook, great. Then click on File, click on Upload, select those images and open. Select all of them, then click on Open. Are you able to do that? Sunidhi, are you able to do that or not? Not getting option. I'm not getting option of upload only. What does that mean? Upload only. We need only upload option. Okay, great. You have all the images now. Great. Now, what we want to do, first of all, these images are from Unsplash. Sample data. Forget sample data. I don't need sample data. So what we are going to do, we are going to make some imports. Just wait a second. Let me adjust the window size. So we have to import these things. NumPy. You can also write this thing on it. Yeah, let me do that first of all. Like text, if you want to read it maybe some other day, and just simply type then type here important imports. Now the first import that I'm going to do, we would require NumPy. Just import NumPy. Second thing that we would require TensorFlow. We'll be importing import TensorFlow as TF. This is again an alias that I'm giving to the TensorFlow, and import Keras. Once you do that, please click on the play button or do Control plus Enter, or Shift plus Tab will also work. So you will get this output using TensorFlow backend. If you have this output, that means this cell ran. Now you can proceed further. That's what it means. Everybody is able to do that. Everybody done it. Slow notebook network. Okay. Yeah, that is the problem when we are dealing with cloud. You need obviously good internet. It's slow. Yeah. Also, I have to do one more thing. If I want to use this notebook just like Jupyter Notebook, I want to see my output just like Jupyter Notebook. One more thing I have to import, and that is going to be this from IPython code display, import display. From IPython.core display, import display. So again, the advantage of using it, that means, whenever you are typing, it is also automatically giving you autofill that you can fill in. Yeah. Now I have this display basically. Now the next thing that I wanted to do basically, I want to create these constants. So I will give the file name and put my images in the constants basically. 3 files I'm going to create. Text basically. Give it a name as creating constants. So file 1 must be file 1. Keep it uppercase only. What is it doing here? All uppercase, no? Yeah, all uppercase I'll do. Yes, for the complication will be there. So file name, give it in a string, just go and copy this one. You can. Now you have to type it on your own. 0,1 umbrella .jpg. So Ajay was asking me how can I feed my files into the network. So that is we will understand that. How is that going to work out for us? If I have an image data, how can I feed that data into the model? How can I use? Yes. That's what we are going to do. That how we are going to input them in the model basically. Couple.jpg. What are the file I have? Let's create a third one. Just file 3. So I'll be inputting this file. That's why I'm giving them a name basically. So Ocean 03. So everybody is doing this. if I want to look at this image, what do I do? This is the next step, which is the pre-processing. So what does pre-processing means? Pre-processing means before feeding the image into the model, I have to do few things and make that image that my model can understand. It is used for the display to have the functionality of Jupyter Notebook. If you don't want to use it, I mean, disable it. That's completely fine. Still, you will have the output, but it's more handy. So this is the pre-processing that we are trying to do. Pre-processing of the data. So we are trying to pre-process our data at this particular point. What exactly I have to do for that? So see, display function I'm using now, it's coming from this ipython.core to display my images, right? So what I exactly am doing, I'm not going to give it any target size right now. I will just load it as it is. So if I go, I see not the name pick. Yeah, I need to give a name pick. Yeah. Load image is not defined. Yes, I haven't imported load images. I have to import the load images as well. Let me go to the imports, and yeah, because I am doing the pre-processing, so I'll import the images as well. So what I'm trying to do here, from Keras pre-processing dot images, because Kera has pre-processing of videos as well, for images as well, for different type data types. So we are using for images, and I think I've talked about this. What does this dot means? After each and every file, they are all methods of a particular class, and we are accessing them. And I'm doing import image to array because I cannot feed my image as such. I need to convert it to array, and also as well as the load image for the loading the image basically. So if I go delete it, because I'm not using it right now, so I'll delete it. Just hang on. Or what I'll do, I'll just comment it out because I would require it. Right. So run this command. With this, you'll be able to load the image. And then come here, use the load image method and give an input to your file one, which you want to display. So we have stored that into this object, which is pick, and then we are using that pick object to display the file. So let's see if it works out. So yeah, it's working out. So can I feed it into my model now? Is it good to go? Can I feed it? So we will try to answer that as well, that can we feed it or not. So what I want to do next, I have this image because when I've talked about yesterday also, that making not predictions. This is how the data is going to look like now, in the form of array. In yesterday's slide, where did we cover it? No. Where was it? So do you guys remember that we were using, I think I'm wrong. Okay, let me show you that, what I'm talking about. Yeah, this one. So if you remember, Yesterday we've talked about this. The image data is not going to be inserted as an image, it is going to be inserted as an array. So now we have to convert our image into an array, which will look like this. Let me take a look to the slides. Now what do I do for converting this image into an array? What do I do for that? So again, I have to use the function which is there, image to array. So I will go back and enable it. So this is the purpose of this method that I have here, image to array. It will help me to convert my image to an array. I hope you run this cell, image underscore to array in the imports. If not, then I'll share it again. Then this is how I'm able to convert it, image to array, give it so what is the variable name I'm using here? I'm going to use the same name, pick array. Yep. Next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to say pick underscore array, and then giving you image to array, passing in the object, the pick object in which my image is there. Now if I go and do one thing, check the shape. Am I able to check the shape of this? Let's try. Is it possible to check the shape of the image? No, it's not going to give me the shape. Now let's do the same thing for the array that we have just created. That can we check the shape of this particular array that we have created, which is a pick array. Yeah, so let's try to do that. Shape.array, I guess. Yeah, worked in a different way in this NumPy. Dot shape. Yes, 256, 256, 3. So remember I was talking about that the images will be always in a pixel. It will have certain pixel value, and it will have. So yeah, that's understood that what is 256, 256. I hope it is 256 and 256. Is it understood why it is 256, 256 or not? Cool. But why this 3? Why do I have 3? Let's try to look at that. So I have talked about this yesterday also. Whenever you have an image, it is in 3 colors. That's RGB, 3 frames, right? We say. Exactly. So this is how the image is going to look like in RGB and all that. Red, green, blue. So this is what the 3 means. So how does it's going to look like? The height is giving me the height as a height into width into channels. The third is the channel. Basically I have 3 channels, and all the colors that you can think of will be made up of these 3 channels, RGB basically. So that's why it's giving me height cross channels, height cross width, width cross channel. So how does it's going to look like in mathematics? If I say this is going to look like just like an Excel sheet. First it will have some, this is going to be a first layer, first one dimension is going to be a 3D, as I can three values obviously there, 256, 256 and 3. So obviously it's going to be 3. So it's going to be 256 cross 256, 256 cross 256, 250 cross 256. 3 means it will be in 3 color, 1, 2, 3, and it will have different values, as I was trying to explain you yesterday also, that an image is nothing but some values for a computer. It's just going to be some values between 0 to 256. or 255 is we consider 0. So yeah, if I look at the first point, it is going to give me 0, 127 and 0. So is it clear to everyone up till this point? Should we move to the next one? And I hope I'm not going fast. I'm going very slow and trying to give you time so that you can do the same thing. You can see the output and we can be on the same page. Now, next thing, what should I do the next? I've pre-processed the data. No. So to understand the meaning of pre-processing, let's try to use this image and put it in my graph. But before I do that, what do I have to do before I exactly go and do it? Basically, I have to first of all load my model, the model that I'm going to use. So what is the model that I'm going to use? I'm going to use ResNet Inception ResNet V2. This is the model that I'm going to use. So how did I find this model? Where did I find this model? If you have this question. So yeah, sure, let's address it. So this is the Keras documentation, right? And if you go on this documentation and the top, let me share it with you. Yeah, can you see this one? Models of image classification with weight trained on ImageNet. Yeah, I'll talk about this also. What is ImageNet also? But first of all, come on this page. So I'm using this ResNet V2. This is what I'm using. So what exactly it is going to take? ResNet 50 V2. This is what I'm trying to use. It has different versions as well, but let's not complicate them. Let's stick to the one that I'm trying to use. So I am using here ResNet. Where is it? ResNet V2. ResNet V2. Let's look at ResNet V2 only. ResNet V2. Where is it? They are quite different there. Yeah, this is the resonant identifying mapping that I'm trying to use. And you can see up here that they have already assigned the weights. They have trained this model on the ImageNet data set. Now, what is ImageNet? Okay, so ImageNet is again an organization. ImageNet is a database, basically database organized according to the WorldNet hierarchy. So basically it's managed by some of the top institutes of US. So they manage this data set, and this is the this is data is a hand curated data set. They have labeled this data set manually because obviously labeling is required. If I want to input my data into the model, labeling is required. So they have trained their models on many millions and billions of image data sets basically. So that's how they come up with the weights, what is going to be the perfect weight that we should be using for the model. So this data set we have, and one interesting fact that I would like to talk about before we proceed further. If you go to Google and sometime if you're trying to access something, so you might see this, captchas. You might have seen this captchas. So what exactly, why do Google ask me, or why do Google ask you to select these captchas? So basically Google Google is asking me to do the labeling for them. I am basically doing the labeling for Google. So then they can use these labels for their training. They can train their image data set, whichever they are going to collect in this way. They can train their model based on the image that they have collected and based on the labels. So you can see the street sign. They will collect all the street sign. They will store them in a particular folder. They will collect some commercial lorries. They will store them in a different folder. Then they will create a model in which they will feed all these different classes. Then they will train a particular model. Then they will have the output. So yeah, that was it. So before we proceed further, next thing is going to be the Keras model and the graph. So Keras model, I have shown you basically. These are the different models that we have in Keras. First one, we are going to use ResNet V2. This one, the first model that we are going to use. So before I talk about anything on this, first of all, let's import this. Where is it? Where is it? Yes, this is one I want. So I'll go back again. Please run this output. And one more thing I require. I also require the graph. Yeah, so I also need I also need to create an object which will be graph. So let me import that, then I'll talk about this. Where is the graph? Graph. I've imported somewhere here, I guess. tf.graph. Where is the import? Let me see. Okay, let me see this. I'll tell you what exactly this graph is. Just wait for a second. Yeah. So the next thing that we are going to do, I'm going to give it another heading, load model, give it a heading as a model, and let's give it a heading as loading the model and graph. So this is the graph that I have loaded. Now let's go and try to load the model. Please show the import code of ResNet. I have shared the code, Sunidhi. Check the comment section, it's there in the chat window. From keras.application inception ResNet v2 import inception ResNet v2. Now I don't have to pass in any parameters to this. The weights, the dense function, which I was trying to show you yesterday, because it's already been trained, this model. So when I will download it, I will show you. I will talk about this graph also, but let me create the instance for the model first of all. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to use the time function. So what exactly, why I'm doing it? Just to check how much time it is going to take to load my model. So I'm just using the weights which are already there by ImageNet. As you can see, they already have weights here by ImageNet. So I am just going to use those weights basically. Let me see. Yeah, let me run it. Let's see how much time it takes. So I will share the same code and you also run the same one. As you can see, it's downloading it. It's downloading this model from GitHub. Deep learning model, release download, Inception ResNet v2 weights for TF dim ordering TF keras.h5. So basically what is this h5 file means? Whenever we let's say if we create a model one day, if you create your own model one day, and now after a few hours of training you will have certain weights in that particular model. Now you want to save that model so that next time when you want to train it, when you want to check something, when you want to validate something, when you have input data, you don't need to do the training again. So you will save that model into the h file. The file name will be the h5 file. So it took me 22 seconds to import the model basically. So are we on the same page? Can we go and make the predictions now? No. I'll talk about the graph also. Yeah, but yeah. So please do this. Then I'm going to talk about the graph. Basically, why do I have a graph here and what does the graph function is. What does it do? So this is basically the graph of one of the examples, one of the modeling that we did. This is a more complex. This is more complex. I would say a neural network, a convolution neural network where max pooling is happening, average pooling, concat, drop, all these. So you're not familiar with these terms, but let's not talk about them right now. This is how the graph is going to do. So what does the graph purpose is? Basically, it gives the model, a framework to work on, that how the data is going to pass through the different output, how the output is going to come out, how the prediction are going to take place. It gives a framework to my model. Basically, this is for the inception ResNet v2. This is the graph. So this is why we need a graph, so that it can follow a certain, you would say, structure or hierarchy, that first of all you have to do this, then you have to do this, then you have to do this and this, and then you have to make the prediction of the classes. So is it making sense to you? This is how the model graph works basically. Is it making sense to you? This is more in detail how it is going to work out. It is going to calculate the loss first of all. Yeah, look at this example. This might gives you more clarity. So how I'm just breaking it down. This is the ResNet, breaking it down. What is happening here? So basically, first of all, this is again, it's going to be a graph. It's in depth, the graph, how it's going to work out. First of all, you will show an image to it, then it will get into layer 1. Some sort of calculation will happen here, then it will go to layer 2. Some sort of calculation will happen here, training calculations. It's calculating the weights. Then layer 3, then the out, then it calculates some calculation also. Then what it does basically, it's calculate the error, and then it goes back. The same thing happens again. You can see these are in the both direction, and at the end we have some certain sort of accuracy. We match them, calculate the error, and then yeah, we are able to make the prediction. I hope this is making sense, because it's just the same the way I explained it yesterday. But TensorFlow, or you can say the ResNet, need to remember all these things, that this is the pattern it has to follow. And every model has some different you can say some different layers also included them, the flow of the data, how the data is going to be flown into the model, how the output is going to come out, how the calculation is going to happen. Few minor changes are there in different models. So yeah, this is how the graphs look like. I hope this is making sense to you. If it is not, please ask question. Can we move on to the next one? Cool. Okay, great. Now we have the model, which is the inception model. Here now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the prediction basically that we usually do. So yeah, it's disconnected because I'm not using. So make sure that you are using the notebook, otherwise it will get disconnected and then you have to repeat the steps again. So now what I'm going to do basically, this is the inception model graph. I'm going to store it in this variable basically. Yeah, over here. I can do this up here also, same thing. This is the inception model graph. I have it here. Nothing is there. I mean, like, I'm just storing the model graph into it, into this variable. That's all. You can also run the same. Then the next step is going to be making predictions basically. We have loaded the model, the graph. Now the next step is going to be making prediction. Now we are going to make the predictions. So I have my model in this inception model. So I'm just going to type inception model dot fit and going to pass in the input which I want to predict. Inception model predict pick array that I have here. So far what we did, we haven't done the pre-processing. Basically in the pre-processing part, what we did basically, we have just converted our image. We've just converted our image to an array. We haven't done any processing. So keep that in mind. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this cell. Can you see I am getting an error? And look at the error. It's a value error basically. That means I'm not passing in the correct values. And check why. It is expecting the input to be input 1. It should have 4 dimension, but goes only with the shape 256, 256, 3. That means it is expecting it to be in the 4 dimension, but I am only passing this in a 3 dimension. So that is the problem basically when you are going to use a single image. So let me tell you what is the reason behind it. Okay, so how the data is going to come into my model, because usually what happens is that I am using different images at the same time. And so let's say I have this image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on and so forth. So these are my images. So this image have 3 dimension, 3 dimension, 3 dimension, 3 dimension, 3 dimension, but they are packed in an array. They are packed in an array, so that pack will have another dimension. So in total they will have 4 dimension, right? So that in that case, that means if I try to make a 4 dimension, that means I can pass it into my model. So yeah, let's try to do that. Let's try to do that. What happens with that case? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the reshape basically. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to expand the dimension of my image that I have. So I will go back and over here I will just type expand dimension x is 0. Now you can check the shape. It's coming out to be 256, 256, 3. If I run it, NP is not defined. Okay. Yeah. Let me run it. Now, can you see the dimensions? I have now 4 dimension. I've expanded its 1 dimension, which is nothing. There is 0 value. There's nothing in there. 0 values are there. That means, can I pass this? Can I pass this array or this input to my? Are you guys following this? What I'm trying to say? Because I'm not getting any inputs from your side, so it is unclear to me whether you are getting it, whether it is bouncing off to you. Now what I'm going to do, the next thing that I'm going to do basically, I'm going to pass this one which is extended variable and try to make the prediction out of it. So let me try to do that. Let me comment this out. I don't like this error. Now let's try to run it. Let's see what happens then. Now I should not get an error, right? But yeah, let's see. Still I'm getting error. Okay, let's check the reason why there is an error. The error when checking input, expecting input to have the shape of 299 2993, but got an array of this shape. But why this thing is happening? So if I go back and again reshape my image into this, let's try to do that. Okay, let's try to now see whatever I'm doing, whatever the error I'm getting, I'm just following those instructions. I'm not doing anything extra here. So I'm getting an error, I'm just following it so that you can understand that, because when you will be solving a problem, there will be error that you will see. So then you have to understand why that error is there, and then based upon that you will have your further steps aligned. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to reshape my image, right? I'm going to do the reshape of this particular image that I have. So for that, what I will do is I will use the parameter which is array shape. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Array shape I'm using. There's something wrong with it, I guess. Target size I have to use. I have to use this one, which is target size. It's a part of load image. Yeah, I have to do this target size. I have to give it a target size of 299. Not array shape will not work because it is expecting the target size to be 29, 299, 299, 3. So where is it? Where is it? Where is the cell? 99, 3. Now let's do one more thing. Let's check the shape, convert it into an array, then check the shape. Now I have the size. What was my model asking me? Right, so what do I do then? Now it is in which one? It is in this now. So I will use again the pick array. Pick array I will be using. So I have to go back, comment this out, and then use this cell again. Now I'm getting another error. It is telling me, and do you know why this is happening? I'm just following the instructions, whatever it is giving me, still I'm getting the error. Do you know why? Because I have missed one crucial step, which was pre-processing. I haven't done the pre-processing of these images because I don't really know exactly how the model is going to accept these inputs, and I did not process them according to the model. I was processing them according to my understanding. I did not use the pre-processing. Now let's look at one more thing, what we are going to do, because now we are going to do the pre-processing first of all, and then let's try to understand how does that work out for us. One more input has to be added. Yeah, I think let's because it's giving me this error, let's try one more thing, then we will do the pre-processing. Okay, let's try to run it. Now the shape is this one. Now pass it again, because we have to try all the permutation and combination, no? So that we are sure of whatever we are doing, why we are doing it. Now I haven't pre-processed it yet, so let's see what happens. Okay, it ran. That means if I pass it in that way, it ran, it gave me this output. But whether I am able to understand this output or not, that is again another challenge that we have. Now that means if I pass it in this shape, which is and the reason why we are passing it in this shape, there is a reason for that. If I go to the documentation, if I show you somewhere, there was somewhere, yes, can you see the model was expecting the input to be in this form, 299 cross 299. This should be the input. It should have 3 channels. That is what it's telling me. It should have 3 channels, and this should be the input, that the default input size basically. So if I pass this input size, my model has worked out. It gave me some calculations, but am I able to understand these calculations? That is my next challenge. So we will try to look at that. But before we do that, if you have any questions, please ask. If you have any questions, please ask. Are you able to reach up till this point or not? That means you are good with that. Great. So let's take a break. And once we come back from the break, then we will look into that how can we decode this basically? How can we understand? So here we have, yes, we have converted image data to an array. Absolutely. With 4 dimension. Yes, absolutely. Give it a size, give it a pixel according to that. This is for the pixels. What should be the pixel of this particular image? And then I convert that image into an array of 3 dimension, but I need 4 dimension. Then I use the expand dimension function of NumPy. I convert it into the 4 dimension. I have 4 dimensions now. Because when I did not convert it into 4 dimension, you have seen there was still an error that I was looking at. So when I convert it into 4 dimension, I have the output, but how can I understand this output? How to deal with this? We'll address that after a break. So let's take a break for 15 minutes and then we'll come back and we'll start again. Okay guys, thank you. can we start? Guys, can we start? If everybody's in, when we can start then. Everybody? Okay. Okay, what about Ajay? Ajay, are you there? So, so far what we have done is we have got our predictions, but it is in a scientific notation. As I said before as well, that the output will be in the scientific notation and it is in the form of array. And I told you that whenever we are dealing with scientific notation or any sort of calculation, it will happen in an array. We will be not using a list or a list inside a list. We cannot do that. We will have to use an array. But let's come to the point again that we need to debug this. Basically, we need to know what exactly this code is telling me. What is this output? I want to know that. So how can I know this thing basically? So let's try to look at that. So I have to do another import of the inception, the ResNet inception v2. We have to import something else, and that is going to be the debugger. I have to import the debugger, decode predictions basically, which will decode all these predictions for me. I'll simply go and just import them. Now what? Now the next thing that I'm going to do, I am going to store my prediction in a variable, and then I'm going to decode it. Prediction, store it in a variable. Then what do? I will say, what is it? It's called as decode predictions. Yeah, it's called as decode underscore predictions, and I will pass my predictions inside of that. It's giving me the output that is a comic book. But if you recall, what was the output? Let's print the output here also. Let's take it and let's print the output. No, I have to do this way only. Display pic, sorry, and this, and hang on, and then run it, decode. Yeah, so this is an umbrella, but it is telling me, see, this is how I get an output. What is exactly this? This is a class name which ImageNet data have already trained. They have created a class name for the comic book. This is a class name for the vacuum. This is a class name for toilet and all that stuff. And this is the probability. It is giving me the probability with which it can tell me that it is, he think with this person probability that it is this. So I am getting a probability 1 for the comic book, and vacuum some close to 0, and then toilet paper 0, rest of them are not sure of. But this is not true, right? So then what went wrong? What exactly we did wrong that we are not able to get our output? Can somebody tell me? Looking at all these steps that we followed, can somebody tell me what went wrong that it is not making good predictions? What we did wrong? Can we even get it back? Can we even get the the exact answer? Can we make a good prediction with this model, or whether this model is not good? What do you say? What do you think about this? Can somebody answer this question to me? No, Sunidhi. If Syed, the thing is that if I would be giving it in a different size, yeah, you are somewhere right, but if I would be giving it in some other size, I would not be getting the predictions. So Sayyid is close to that, close to the answer. He's getting close to that. Anybody wants to try? Anybody wants to try? What could be the reason? Sayyid is very close to the answer. I mean, why this is? Anybody would like to add something? What is the reason for it? Nobody? Okay, no problem. So don't know. Okay, no problem. That's completely fine. So basically the thing is that we don't really know that how the model has done the training. During the training, what exactly was the input for this particular model, this ResNet model? Yes, we have understand from the output that yes, we can have this sort of input and then it will make predictions, but we are not really sure of that how to make sure that the input which the model is trained on, we have the same input. That's why it can make better predictions. So what do we do to do that? That's when the pre-processing comes into picture. We will be using the pre-processing to do this thing for us. So let's do it. Now again, we have to import the pre-processing, and it's available there. If you go and look for it, you will find it. The ResNet there is a argument that you will find for the pre-processing. Yeah, so I'll just put it here. Pre-process input. We have to import pre-process input. Right next to decode prediction, we have to import pre-process input. Then run it. And then in the pre-processing section, where is my pre-processing section? Yeah, here it is. So I will add a new cell, and what should I do? I will give it some name. Maybe what should be the name? Let me check what was the name I've given here. Okay, pre-processed. Yeah, pre-processed would be good. Pre-processed, and then I will say pre-processing input, and I will pass. I should create it up here below to this one. Yeah, so I will pass the extended one inside this. Now if I go and try to make the prediction, but this time I will be using the pre-processed object. Now let's try to make the prediction, decode them and display them. So yeah, it is giving me the output that it is umbrella with the probability of 82.92%. Right? So that means it's making good predictions for me. But don't you think it was like too many steps that were involved, and we have to do this first, do that first? So I am posing you a challenge. This is going to be your challenge basically. What you have to do, you have to create a function. I'll share this with you. Yeah, this is going to be your challenge, and let's see who does it. Let's create the function here. Add some text here. So this is what you have to do. So this is the challenge for you. You have to create a function called format image inception ResNet that takes the file name as an argument, and the function need to load the image in a default resolution of the inception net v2 and convert the image to an array and return the pre-processed image. So now you are aware what are the steps we took. You just have to club them together, put them in a function, give it a name as image, format image, inception, yeah, inception RESTnet. So can you do it? You know all these steps, how to take the input, how to change the input, then how to convert it into array, how to expand it, then how to process it. You just have to put it in one function. So I'll give you 2-3 minutes to solve this. Are you guys able to do it, or should I intervene? I need responses, guys. Okay, great, great. At least you're trying, Sayed. Great. Everything is there. You have all the recipes. You just have to put them together, put them on a plating. You just have to do the plating. You have all the tools that you need. Just do the plating well. Ajay, you did not solve this? Ajay, can you hear me? Ajay, hello. Sayed, are you done? Okay, share the code, Sayed. Whatever you have written, share the code. I'll do the rest. Share the code, I'll do the rest. What about the others? Nobody is doing. Sunidhi, Ashima, Sayed, Neha. Sayed is doing. Ashima is doing. Ashima, I don't know about her. Helena, Kompal. What about you guys? Trying. Okay. 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 Great. Great. Okay, who had solved it? Anybody is able to solve it? I'll do it. Yes. That was the name. Inception ResNet. So what should be the input? The input will be the file path. File path. I've defined the file path, no? The file path, the user will give me the yeah, let's give it a name, file path. So what is the first thing that we do? So I have shown you this thing. The first thing that we do, basically, we will load that particular image. We will load that particular image, and then only we'll be able to use it. So let's say I have these constant, na, file 1, file 2, file 3. So this is what I'm going to use. So if somebody comes in and say, this is the function I will be using, na. Pick is equals to file path. File path here, or let's call it file, not file path, or yeah, call it file. Yeah. What should we do with the file? We are going to change the target for that particular file, and then we will have a pick, basically. Pick, or what should we give it a name? Yeah, pick would be fine, I guess. Then the next step is going to be, I will convert that pick to an array. I will take the input, convert it to an array. It was very straightforward. Take the pick, convert it into an array. The next step is going to be extend the shape, basically. Everything was there. I mean, I don't know what you guys do. Then I will pre-process it. I will pre-process it, and I will return pre-processed. I will return pre-processed. So this is my function. So now what I am going to do, basically, this is going to return an image to me. Let's what should we do with this? Yeah. Okay. So we will test this function on another file, which is file 2, basically. Now let's do one thing. Let's call it to be pre-processed. Pre-processed 2, maybe. Then let's call our function. What was the name of the function? The function name was format image. I am just going to copy it. This is what I'll pass, and then I'll pass the file name. So what is the file that I want to use? I want to use the second file, right? Now the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to make the predictions. For making the prediction, this is prediction I'm going to use, and decode the prediction. This is the thing that I'm going to do. So I will do the prediction on the pre-processed 2, basically pre-process underscore 2, and then I will, how can I display the pick? For displaying the pick, I will use this one, the one that I have defined already at the top for displaying an image. Load an image, put it in an array. Yeah, this is what I can do. Let me see. But yeah, we can make it better, obviously. But file 1, file 2 going to come into picture here. I'm going to reshape it, but that is not going to work out. Okay. Then I'm going to, this is the prediction 2, call it to be prediction 2, and decode my prediction 2. Let's run it. Let's see if we get an error. Then we'll try to solve it. Pre-process 2. Which one? Pre-process 2 is not defined. My bad. It's my bad. Nice. So yeah. So I don't have to go follow all the step for my second image, basically. The second image that I have. I simply just use this function which I have just created, and then I pass in the file name, which is file 2. I'm displaying it, and it is showing me the image, obviously, of a couple, which is a groom, and my model is predicting that it's a groom and giving me the accuracy of close to 70%. Is it clear to you all? I mean, you can go and try it on other files as well. Let's try it on the other one that we have. So for the other file, what was you creating? What exactly you guys were creating? Can you show me? What was the function you guys were creating that it took so long? Everything was there. You just have to go and copy paste. Nothing else. No magic signs. Rocket science, I mean. Indentation problem. So Nidhi, how can it have an indentation problem? That means you're not clear with the functions. You haven't practiced. Have you created any function, Neha and Sunidhi, after class? Have you tried to create any function after the class of your own? Can you answer this question, please? And anyways, the indentation error, how you will get an indentation error? If you will put the semicolon, so Neha, how can you how can you expect yourself to be perfect in that, right? And obviously we are talking about deep learning, so I am assuming that you are aware of all those concepts. But yeah, let's try to run it again. Let's try to display it. The third one. For the third one, prediction, decode prediction 3. It's a breakwater, it's saying. Yeah, we can say that it's a breakwater. Let's check the image. What is the third image is for? It's for an ocean, but yeah, it's my model is saying it's a breakwater. So everybody is clear up till this point about the ResNet v2, how we are doing, why we are doing all that. Is it clear to everyone up till this point, creating functions and all? Is it clear? Anybody have any problem? Any questions you want to ask before we proceed further? Anybody have any questions before we proceed further? Nobody? Great, lovely. Now, no problem, everything is cool. Great. Now the next thing that I'm going to do, now we have used the Inception ResNet v2. I'm going to use a I'm going to use a different model now from the Keras documentation. I'm going to go there and look for the model. Home, let me go there. No, not home, basically. What do I need? Yeah, I'm going to pick up any other out of these two. Let me see which one I'm going to pick up. Let me see. Now the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to import VG19. VG G19. This is the model that I'm going to import. So let's see if it is there. VG19, VGG19. Yeah, this is the model I am going to use. Few changes are there in this model, that it is just like the last one, but few changes are there. Obviously they have trained in a different way, and you can see it is telling me the default size for the image, it should be 224 cross 224, right? Is that right? So now what should I do next for using this model? First of all, I have to import this model. That is very obvious. So I'll go ahead and import it. I'll share it with you also for the import. So how do I know this? This is the import command. It is here. Simply it's telling me it is available in keras.application.vg19. Import vg19. This is what I want to import. So I simply go write this up in my note, and I'm able to do that. So what was the next thing? Yeah, I will import it on my notebook as well. So the same thing I have to do here. I'm not going to repeat all those steps. I'm going to import all of them. The preprocessor, process input for VG, then decoder for VG. Both of them I'm going to import, because now I have to use a different preprocessor, different decoder for using when I'm using VG G19, right? So what do I do? So before passing my data points or before passing my image, what do I need to do? I need to create another function basically, and this function will be called as something else. So this function name is going to be something else. Let's call it to be format image VG19. So same thing it's going to take. Yeah, this is the function that I have. What exactly I'm doing? I'm taking the file name and loading the file in this format, which my model is asking me, 244, 244, then converting into an array. Then I'm using the expand function, which is spec.reshape, and this can be done in this way also. So I'm using this one. Then I'm pre-processing the expand, whatever the output is that I'm expanding it. I'll go simply and run the cell, and then I'll call this function with my input and store it and then use it. So what I'm going to do, VG, I'll say it to be VG pre-process, VG pre-process, and I'm going to call my function format underscore image 19. Yeah, I'm going to pass the name of the image file name. So which file we should check for? I think we should check for the third one, file name 3. Yeah, we'll check for the file name 3, and let's see what happens. Give it a file name 3. Now what I will do, I will call my model. I will make the prediction by using my model. How can I call my model? Simply just by giving this particular command, which is here, which is this VG19. How I was able to call the last model? I was simply giving the name which was the last name that I've imported. This one, now. So yeah, let me show you that also first. So you can inception model. First of all, I created an instance basically to download the model weights. I have to give it a weights, and then yeah, because I haven't downloaded it. Yeah, so I will give it the ImageNet weights and then download it. So let me first of all download it. VG, call it to be as inception model, call it to be now VG model before I pass anything. So I will say VG underscore model, and that will be equals to, it will be equals to VG19, VGG19, and the weights will be ImageNet. The weights are going to be WEI weights. Is it right? I hope I'm not making any spelling mistakes. Otherwise, it will be a problem. Where is it? Where is it? WEIGSTS. Yeah, same thing. I'm gonna copy it. ImageNet weights I'm using because it's also trained on the ImageNet dataset. So where is it? Yeah, here I will pass. Now, just like the last time, what we did is we are just importing the model. And if you can go and check, it's again H5 format. It's downloading from this GitHub, FC Follett, deep learning models, release, download, weights. It is downloading the weights as well, TF kernel H5. Now it has stored this as a variable in the VG model. Now I can use the VG model for making predictions. So I will simply store the prediction 2_1. This is my second model, first prediction. So I will say VG no, sorry, VG model. I have to use the VG model, and then sorry, predict. I will do the prediction on what? I will use it on the VG preprocess. Give it a name also. We might be doing some other as well. Give it a name as 1. And what do we do as VG preprocess 1? Let me copy it so that no mistaken. Yeah, I've got it here. Now this is my prediction is stored here. Now I want to print this out the way I did it here as well. Loading is done. I want to decode my prediction first of all, and I want to display them as well. So decode the prediction. How can I decode it? It is the same command. Let me check. Decode VG19. This is what I have to use. Decode VGG19. It was different for it. For it was decode predictions. For it, it is decode VGG19. That command I have to use. VGG19. I am doing the decode, and I also want to, should I display it, or we are already aware now the third image is that we have this image, so I should not display it, or should I display it? Tell me. Okay. Something is wrong. 3,3,3. Yes, 3. Yeah, it will take them 3 as well. That's not a problem. Okay, let me run it. Let me try to display it as well so that you can see. Give it another shape, which is 224. What is the shape for it? It's 224, no? Yeah, it's 224, comma 224. Okay, let's try to run it. Let's see if we get an error or not. Let's see. VF model is not VG model. Sorry, my bad. Okay, again, I have to decode it now. I'll decode it first. So you can see it's not performing that well. I mean, it's giving me an accuracy close to 16.931, which is it's telling me it's a submarine. I can also try it for other as well. Let's try it for maybe file 1. Let's see what it says about that file. Or are we doing something wrong? For Okay, we'll see. So we have done the, yeah, it is. But for the other file, if I go check for the file one umbrella, it is giving me 99.9% accuracy. Can you see? That means we are not doing something wrong. This model is behaving in a different way. I was getting accuracy close to 82.92%. If I go and check for the groom, let's check for the groom. Maybe we can then try other files as well. So let's do one thing. What should we do? File 2 now. Yeah, VG model is it? Yeah. Okay, groom. I have to print the other output, no? Yeah, print other output as well. Yes. So it's telling me it's a groom, but not with that good accuracy. Because there is in this image there would be a reason for it. There is a lot of other noise in this particular image. There is a lot of grass we have in this particular image, and when I talk about the first one, which is an umbrella, there is clarity. There is not disturbance in this image. Basically, we can only see, the model can only see the umbrella. It is able to recognize it clearly. All the things are blurred, right? So that means this does matters. How, which image you are giving it to the model, which things are highlighted, which things are blurred, that is going to affect the accuracy of the model, right? And obviously it is going to vary from model to model. If you are using a different model, the accuracy might vary. If you are using another model, it might vary as well. So can we try for other files as well? We have like close to 10 files, so can we try for other files as well? Let's see. We can. Now this is what I'll do for the horse file I have, and then I'll make the prediction on that. So I'm just using the format, the file name. Is it going to work out? Let's see. Inception model for the prediction for the horse. Load image, display, decode predictions. Let's see. So I'm just storing the output in data format. Let's see if it works out. Let's see. Form image Inceptron is not defined. Maybe he's giving a different name. .NET I'm giving now. My, what is the name of my function? Yes, this is the name now. So guys, if you make any spelling mistake, it will lead you to lots of errors. So you need to be aware of that. Something is wrong with it. What is it? Okay, we'll look into that as well. Let's see. Okay, it is making the prediction, but again, in this case, it's telling me it's a sorrel, which is this grass that it's able to identify. Sorrel, or maybe it's saying it's a ram, maybe it's white, that's why. But about the rest, it's not telling me anything. If I go check for the others, let's see what happens about the others that I have here. Should we check for the others? Let's check for the feed. Now let's do one thing. Let's check the same in a different model, the VG one that we have. So I have to use a different function again. The same name I have to use. Format the file using this one. Okay. So I'll go and format this particular file, and which model I'm using? I'm using VG19 for it. Okay, where is it? Where VG model I'll be using, then I will be predicting it. Let me see. Load image. Yeah, everything is cool. Yeah, let's try to run it. Okay, so there is a problem with the data. That means, what is it? Prediction.model.data. It's not able to work around that. Let me see what's the problem with it. I'm using which function for that. So I was testing the model here, VG19 format.vg file. Yes, it should work absolutely fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Expanded.vg. Let me go and change. If I run it, this command. Okay, let's run it now. Let's see. But oh, I'm using the wrong function. Oh, sorry guys, I'm using the wrong name. I'm obviously I'm using the wrong name, wrong function. I have to use this one. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, let's try with this first. Then we get an error. So errors are part of your programming life. You will see errors. So don't get scared when you see them. You have to just stay there and face them. I mean, that's the only way you can get through them. VG, let's see. Do we get another error? So yeah, it's giving me more accuracy on RAM. But is it a RAM? What is the RAM? It's not a RAM. It's giving me accuracy more on that. Right? Let's try for other files as well. Let's have the same. I'm not going to write again. I'm going to use it the same. You try for a different file. Let's try for maybe feet. Baby feet. I'm going to try. Let's see. 06. Are you guys following what I'm doing here? Are you guys able to follow this? Guys, I'm asking a question. Are you guys able to follow this? Great. Great. Everybody's able to follow? Array, yaar, I have to change it also now. Okay. Feet, yeah. Great. I hope I'm making sense to you all. And this is how we do, check different models. I mean, okay, free.c, not in the directory. What's wrong? Oh, sorry. Okay, it's giving me something else. American gray, it's detecting this particular color and something else. I don't know. Let's look it for the, let's check for the other one, the inception model. How does that work out for it? So yeah, we have to change the functions. VG, everywhere is VG. Let me go. Where is that function? Yeah, this is the function name. Let me write it here. I mean, yeah, it'll come. Format dot, was the name format dot inceptron. Yeah. Then what was the model name? Model name was, what was the model name? I don't remember the name. VG, no. What is it? Inception model, yeah. Inception model. Inception model. Okay, everything looks good to me. Decoder I have to change also. Oh, okay. Okay, I was using a different decoder for it. Guys, I was doing wrong. Decode predictions. I should be using this now. My bad. when I'm using on the VG images, I should be using different decoder. That's why it's giving different outputs. Let's see. No, it's, what's wrong? Decode VG19. What is it? So it's expecting this, but I'm using it again in a different function. Oh my god. I have messed it up. I mean, my god. So there is a lot of problem here. I'm using the format of VG and using the model of inception here. That is the problem. Yeah, let me correct it up. The model is VG model, and also I have to change it as well. The decoder. What is the decoder for that? I guess it's VG decoder, something like that. VG. No, not VG. That was the name. Here, hold on, let me check. Decode VG. Yeah, it was decode VG. Decode VG. Yep. Okay, I'm using wrong. VG.model. Yeah, let's see. Yes, now it's better. Now it's better. So decode is this, model is this. Also, I suppose do something else here. Okay, let's leave it. Let's correct the last one that we have. Okay. Is there a problem with it? Yes, there is a problem. We are using a different decoder here. Decode VG, yeah. Okay, it's giving this output. Okay, let's check it with the Inceptron. How does it work with the Inceptron? I'm using the same image now. You can do the comparison. I mean, there is few things has been messed up, but yeah, you can do the comparison now. So this is telling me it's a burrito. This is some sort of snack, I guess. And this is American gray. It's detecting the color. It's telling me it's a diaper. Maybe it found this damper bath towel. It found this towel also, giving me accuracy for 0.5%. Stretcher, bathtub, no. So for some of the images, this model is not working. For what kind of images it's not working well? What do you recognize? I mean, what is your understanding when you see these two outputs of VG and the Inceptron? What is understanding you have from it? What do you refer or infer from it? Is there a problem with the images, or what? Is there a problem with the model? So I can't expect answers from you, right? Yeah, I forgot that. Sorry for that. So basically in this images model, no Sunidhi, that's not the problem. It is giving me accuracies for other images as well. Can you see it's giving me accuracy for this? Why it is giving me accuracy for my umbrella? Then why? What is the reason for it? Basically the images that we have, they lack focus. Basically there is no focus in these images. You can see here this is also in focus, this is also in focus, this is in focus, this is blur, obviously this is blur, hands are also in focus. So that is the problem. Same goes with this image as well. It is not able to recognize it. Maybe in this case it's also under focus. This is also, there is too much noise. What we call this thing, we call it to be noise. In machine learning and deep learning term, we call it to be as noise. There is too much noise in this type of images. So then we have to reduce this noise, and there is again some pre-processing technique. Maybe you can solve with some pre-processing technique. Maybe you can try a different model, or you might need more images, because my motive was to tell you how the data is fed into model, how it gives me the output, how the inputs are changed, what kind of inputs your model will expect from you. If you'll give this sort of input, what will happen? If you will give this sort of input, what will happen? What are the errors that we usually encounter while we are working on? Otherwise, what we could have done, we could have collected data and we could have used that particular data. That data would be of one particular class. Maybe we could have collected data for handwritten digits. All the file will have the same information. Then we will train it on top of that. So yeah, making predictions. Yeah, testing VD model. Yeah, it's giving this much accuracy here. It's telling me it's a RAM. Same thing is happening here. So that's it for today's guide. Do you have any questions to ask? You can ask. If you have any questions? Do you guys have any questions for me? (3D) visualization. Again, you have to look for the libraries and functions are there which are available. You can use it Matplotlib also. 3D visualization. There are different libraries that are available for this purpose. Anyone else? Any questions related to the discussions that we had? Any questions to that? And also we have shared a feedback. You have received a feedback on your WhatsApp, on the WhatsApp group. So please give your responses on that. Whatever experience you had during the training, please fill out your responses in that particular feedback form. If you need any improvements in the session for the further sessions, then maybe we can work on. Any inputs you would like to give? Any inputs? Anybody would like to give any inputs? Thank you, Sunidhi. Thank you so much. Anybody would like to give any inputs in the way of teaching? Should I make any improvements? Was it too tough? I mean, how can we improve it more? There are, again, as I said, there are techniques for that. You have to use zoom in. There are different things you have to do. You have to rotate the image in different angles. Thank you so much, Moink. Thank you so much, Neha. So everybody, please fill out that form that we have and reach out to us if you send your feedback to us on that particular form, basically. And if you have any doubts and questions, you can always reach out. That's what's my motto, basically, Neha. Make it, for the same level. I mean, for programmers and non-programmers. That's what I try to do. But if you feel like there has to be some improvement that needs to be done, so please let me know. It will be really great. I'll be like really helpful for me as well, for the other students that will come to attend the session. If somebody is from non-programming, please give your inputs. You can unmute yourself and you can give your inputs. Okay then, thank you so much everyone. Thank you so much for your time.